Hello guys, welcome back. Merlin here, and today we're going to be diving into a new deck. It's kind of a remake of an older deck that was kind of in the middle of being historic and standard, but a couple of the cards were banned on it. I call it Nissa's Army. It is currently standard legal and historic legal. Now, as soon as it pops up here, there we go. The whole goal of this deck is to use smaller creatures to quickly overwhelm and destroy your opponent. Now, I do use token creators, so it's basically a little token machine. I've got the 4 Scoot Swarm. I've got Spore Web Weaver. Now, whenever it takes damage, I gain a life, and I get to create a 1/1 green Saproling creature token. Combo that with Arasta of the Endless Web. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. So, between those guys, I have Vivian, who creates a 3/3 green beast creature token. I also use... where is he? There we go. I also use Garruk Unleashed, who creates a 3/3 green beast creature token. Then, if my opponent has more creatures than me, I get a loyalty counter on him. So technically, I'm only paying 1 point off from Garruk to do this. And then I have Wildborn Preserver, who gets a +1/+1 depending on how much I pay. So if I pay 5 mana, he gets +5/+5. Depending on, whenever a non-human creature token enters the battlefield. Well, this deck uses no humans. The only creatures in this deck are the Nessian Hornbeetle, the Preserver, the Scoot Swarm, the Spore Web Weaver, Arasta, Gemrazor, Nylea, Renata, Kogla, Ivy Elemental, who we'll touch base on here in a second, and Wildwood Scourge. Now, Wildwood Scourge is the heart of this counter machine. Not only does it, shit out a bunch of tokens, it also pumps up the Wildwood Scourge. Whenever another creature gets a +1/+1 on it, so does he. So, let's say I have 3 Wildwood Scourge in play. If one creature gets a token, those 3 get a token. Then the other 2 get an additional token off from the 1, and so on and so forth. So it's not an infinite loop, but it's pretty close. So off from just 1 +1/+1, a Wildwood Scourge could end up getting, in the right conditions, +3/+3 or more. And then I have the Gemrazor. He is going to be my artifact and enchantment control. Every time he mutates, boom, there goes there goes a target artifact or enchantment. But it has to be one controlled by my opponent. So that helps against White Lockdown. Then we have another combo in my deck, and that's Stony Strength. Put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature. Now that can be used to trigger Wildwood Scourge, or it feeds into my Classification spell. When it enters the battlefield, tap Enchanted Creature. The creature gets a +20/+20. So, if it's a creature that, say, has Trample, like Gemrazor, aka Anguirus here, I use Stony Strength, I untap it, I swing. I'm swinging for 25/25, or I'm swinging 25/25. So all in all, not bad. Now, let's touch base on a few things. I will be doing a couple of videos here coming up. One is going to be packs, because as you can see here, I am storing up a pretty decent amount of packs for a pack opening. Now, I'm also hoping to do a live pack opening, but it'll be of Pokemon TCG, just for the giggles. That'll be kind of like a wetting my feet in that part of it. I'm also hoping eventually to do a live actual physical pack opening for MTG Arena. But right now we're going to go to Standard. And we're going to switch to... Alright, which part of you is not Standard Legal? Okay, Stony Strength. Okay, so it's not completely Standard Legal. That's my bad. So we're going to do Historic. And we're going to switch to Green. I thought I was playing it in Standard, but I guess I have that Stony Strength. Now, I am looking for a card with similar effects to Stony Strength. That'll probably be covered in a different video with this deck where I do like a showcase of all my standard decks. More or less though, the deck is pretty simple. It runs, just a second guys, turn that down a little bit. It runs pretty much, like I said, on cheap creatures and cheap spells basically. Now, we're going to keep this hand. The fun thing is, I drop this on my turn. Now, the reason I use the Rose Thorn Halberd, it can be attached instantly to a non-human creature. So let's drop this. Wildborn Preserver. Now, he already has Flash and Reach. You combo that with the Rose Thorn Halberd. Well, too much for that one. Alright, we're going to drop this. We're going to get Sporeweb Weaver out. Now, what I would have did, had my Wildwood Preserver survived, I would have dropped the Rose Thorn Halberd, which it looks like I'm going to get a chance to. So we'll drop this. Equip it here. Swing for 1. He is now a 4/3, which makes it so that he can feed into Nessian Hornbeetle, which requires a creature with power 4 greater that I control on the battlefield, and then he'll automatically, at the start of each of my combat phases, get a +1/+1. So, we're going to drop him. We're going to take that action, pay 1, auto pay. He's a 5/4, he's a 3/3, swing for 6. And basically, this is where the fun begins. I now have the mana to start dropping Scoop Swarms. Now, who's he going to hit? He's probably going to hit my Wildwood, yep, our Wildborn. Now, I'm going to mutate onto him. And it's going to be over, obviously. And we're actually going to blow up Ixalan Binding. Swing for 8. And that's basically this deck in a nutshell. I mean, unless he has Settle the Wreckage or a massive Wape spell other than that. Okay. He's got 3 2/2s. We're going to make these guys strong enough to actually take the hit. 1 there. And 1 there. Swing. I'm going to guess he's probably going to block each one of them, which is fine. Yeah, we're going to save that. He's still taking damage off from that. He took damage, which means I create a 1/1, take the action, pay 1, and there you go. The tokens being created feed into the Wildborn Preserver. And the nice thing is, how much I can boost him isn't limited by how many creatures came into play or anything. It's just a simple, how much can you pay to beef him up? And there was my opponent. Now we're going to do another match, because it seems that Historic is where this deck really thrives. Now, it wasn't that long ago I did actually try this in the Ravnica block for Standard, and I'm going to say it didn't really pan out too well, just because at the time there was the Shrine decks, black-white removal was a thing, and still is a thing, really. But in all honesty, I would say that it is faring pretty well now, because most decks are 2 or 3 or 4 colors. I'm happily running just a 1-color deck, which gives me a vast advantage over the other decks, because I don't have to split my mana base between 2 or 3 or 4 colors. I'm running 1 color, which means I can run a smaller mana base and still be successful. Now we have 6 packs, And if I'm lucky, by the time I choose to do that video, I should have a pretty decent amount of packs saved up, because basically what I'm doing is every time I hit 1,000 gold, I'm buying a pack. Now, I'm probably not going to do that pack opening video until this mastery ends. That way I can maximize how many packs I have saved up. Plus, you know, gems. Gems are a thing. I can use those gems to buy more packs. Alright. So, we're going to do another match. And basically what we're doing is just kind of giving ourselves a decent percentage of how to base it. Right now, I have just in this video with it, I have a 100% win rate. But if you adjust that against actual matches and who it gives me to fight, I'm going to give it like a 30% curve, maybe 35, so I'd have somewhere between a 65 to 70% win rate. Especially if I draw into a hand like this, where I can't play anything, then I mulligan down. It's not much better, but it's not terrible either, so this will keep. And what we'll do is we'll toss back the Colossification. So we'll keep. Throw this. Drop this. Now with a deck like, or with a hand like this, my main goal is to pull into at least one more mana. Once I get Spore Web out, I'm pretty much set. Or I can even drop Spore Web and mutate it with Anguirus. But I'm imagining I'm probably going to see a shock here that's going to blow up my Nessian. Oh, or not. Okay, well. Now the only unfortunate part about Nessian Hornbeetle is that he can't gain a boost off from himself. It has to be another creature with power 4 or greater, which I kind of, you know, that's one of those things like, really? Damn. But I'll make it work. Now I'm either going to face a card that's going to bounce him back to my hand, or he's just going to flat out burn him. Or summon that. That works too. Okay. Now he's got more land. I've got more land. Let's get another target in play. Now, part of the reason why I chose to run Spore Web Weaver is not just because he creates tokens. It's more or less because he also has blue hexproof, which means if their burn spell or counter spell or bounce spell has any blue mana in it, he can't do a thing. So we're going to get another one going. And I just love how basically I've got creatures now that can't be touched by him as long as his spell contains any blue mana, which means no bouncing. And I can beef these guys up as much as I want and still be pretty successful. So we're going to get Scoot Swarm going. I now have 3 of my token creatures going. I'm just going to swing for 6. And as you guys can see, this deck runs pretty efficiently. I mean, granted, I am facing a mana ramp deck that is actually probably not hitting what it needs to actually be successful. He's either, I want to say he's either mana, well, I want to say he's mana flooded. He's certainly not mana screwed. And I'm saving him. So we're going to put this to this guy. Swing out for game. So I really can't tell you what happened to his deck. I have no idea. But I'm going to say I'm now at like an 80% win rate. Which actually isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. So let's do some recap on it. I'm going to go to decks. Go to Nissa's army. So, in the grand scheme of things, I saw most of my token combo, which was Scoot Swarms, Spore Web Weavers. I didn't see Arasta the Endless Web, which is fine. I didn't see Garruk, which again is fine. I did see my Gem Razor. It did come up. It did help affect the match. I didn't see Nylea, so whether or not she'll stick around, that's the question. I did see Renata, wasn't able to play her. I did not see Vivian. I saw Kogla. I saw Classification. I pretty much saw everything except for a couple, but they were, again, just the late game win cons. So, oh wow, this deck actually runs more than 60 cards. So we're actually going to take 2 cards out. So we're going to take out Nylia. And we're actually going to take out Kogla. There. The deck is rebalanced. And with that, guys, I want to thank you guys for dropping in. If you like the deck tech videos I'm doing, if you like the channel, smash that sub button and come join the community. We're growing by leaps and bounds. I'm still in the process of setting up a Discord and getting it so that the link doesn't expire after a few days. If you guys want, I'll leave a link to my Instagram in the description below. Blow me up on there, and I will send you a link to the Discord. And you'll also be popping up on my Instagram, which means you'll be popping up on my Twitch screen. So, yeah, guys, come join the community. We're growing by leaps and bounds every day, and I will see you guys next time.